probably the most complex musical project that I've ever endeavored to attempt, and it pushed me to the limits of my creative potential in almost every way. 2,000 years of history of the sacred feminine energy, using these three archetypes that bring flavors and energy to my music that I've never used before. I wanted with this project to go back and create this equilibrium, bring the woman back to her rightful place, not in front or not behind, but right beside her partner, the masculine energy. Three archetypes: Mary Magdalene, Isis, and Saint Mary. So throughout this project, both visually and sonically, each of them emanate something different. You have the earth energy, which is very fire and very raw, free of any constraint in her dance, filmed at a full moon with just the energy of the earth. And then you have Isis in the desert, raising her wings in a testament to the sun, to all of the radiant energy on the earth. She's not just the giver of life, she's life itself. She incorporates all the aspects of femininity. And then you have Mary, filmed with the intimacy of the forest, with the backdrop of autumn leaves falling, then as I was singing, raising the chalice, and very graceful and soft. We filmed Mary Magdalene, invigorating, elevating the sense of freedom, long views of open fields, and who arrives with the veil, then slowly reveals that oriental fluidity and that very sacred tantric energy. Mary Magdalene was a free spirit, and a free spirit is expressing her dance, her movement, her femininity in so many ways. And so to do that and to go back to that period in time needed to have the musical aspect and that oriental feeling. And it was important for me, before I even created one note, to immerse myself, to spend time visiting what had come before, the written documents, things that aren't traditionally associated. Mary Magdalene and Mary studied at the Temple of Isis and brought this doctrine, the tantric element, to their relationships and to history. It was very important to explore that, to study it. So I immersed myself, and then pulling away from it before composing, so that what I would bring would be very fresh. So you have the timeless quality of nature honoring the power of the feminine energy. There's such a marriage between the two that they almost become united. So you have the woman who's birthing life itself, and then nature, which is transforming this energy constantly. To create a freedom of expression that is not attached to any one thing. I used Oriental instruments, Egyptian instruments that I've never used in my music before, but this is to wake up embedded tones we have in ourselves. They're like wake-up codes. You hear this sound, and it brings you to a time where perhaps a life that we've lived before, it wakes up that part of us and says, okay, and now we're here, we're going towards the future together in this understanding of where we've been. Dance is so different in its expression that having that new element, the flow, the feeling, really allowed me to go into a new sonic territory, to explore new sounds and new textures that I hadn't visited before. So it was a very enjoyable experience at that level. So this project was incorporating as much literature as history, as poetry, art, theater, and then the costumes themselves. So you have this very sacred energy at times, and then this very uplifting dance type energy, liberating energy. It's like watching musical theater, and none of that would have been possible without the participation of Caroline. One of the most perfect and important moments for me was when I received the inspiration and the direction to honor the sacred feminine. I had to not only use my talent as a composer, but as a writer. And what I saw was to use each element of the sacred feminine attributes. So I found 10 and incorporated them into poetry, which was really a tribute to, again, the archetype of the sacred woman that's in every woman. That intuitive connection, compassion, altruism and love, forgiveness, all these attributes that I've always put into my music are very strong and very present on this album. You feel them everywhere. The Heart of Mary is honoring the woman and at the same time saying, now it's our turn, it's up to us to lift the torch, the flame of that energy, and to hold it up and say, this is where we want to go, this is who we want to be as a human race. To create this equilibrium in us, to balance the two energies and to go forward united and strong and not pushing one aside and diminishing one out of fear of losing something. To say to all the women throughout history who have been erased or subjugated to less than what they deserved, to say we honor you and we respect the important contribution that you've made to history. The really interesting thing about honoring something in creation, and in this case, honoring the feminine energy, I discovered a new voice, a deeper, more operatic tone in my singing that I had never used previously, that I discovered through the Ave Maria. When I wrote this piece, I was very aware of the importance of this text, because Ave Maria is not a music, it's a text from the Roman Catholic tradition. But composers throughout history have used this text to express great beauty, an homage towards Mary. So I was very conscious of the history, all while wanting to deliver something fresh and new, something that hadn't been necessarily explored before. So in the second verse of Ave Maria, you hear percussion and things that you don't normally imagine. And by the end, we're dancing. We have the ritual dance that honors the part of Mary that is being liberated. So not keeping her in this box that we've always put her in. This is not a religious album, but it does honor all the most beautiful parts of religion, the traditions that have been very important. I respect these traditions, but I don't want us to be imprisoned by them. I don't want us to stay immersed in how it was. So when you listen to this album, you're hearing sounds and tones that are as much a part of our history as a part of our future. That harmony between the masculine energy who's delivering the music, the feminine energy who is just floating in and out constantly, and then the nature which surrounds everything, which is unbelievably beautiful. My vision for this project would be really to play it with a full orchestra and a choir, singing it in all its majesty, and have the dance and the temple, the sacred feeling of being in the church. The unity of the masculine and feminine energy is so important, And so what I'm trying to do is to open the consciousness and to bring us to a new place and allow equilibrium to happen. The symbology of the heart of Mary is the heartbeat of the universe. And the heartbeat of the universe is what connects us all together. So it says in the heart of Mary is a message, is a song, is an energy that we can all use to open not only our own hearts, but the collective heart of humanity. There's no barriers in what I'm trying to do here. It's an honoring of traditions, a dismantling of lies, and an opening of what's coming, an opening of the potential. When I say, may the lies now be buried, it means that we're going to tell things how they really are now. We're not going to stay anchored in a past that's chained us to a limiting thought process, to a limiting set of beliefs. We're freeing this, and that's what I'm trying to do through the music. Thank you to the ultimate creator, to Mary Magdalene, to Saint Mary, to Isis, to Earth Mother. Each of you allowed me in your own unique ways to go further in my own expression artistically than I think I've ever gone before. Musically, lyrically, theatrically, visually, this project is unlike anything I've ever created before. Thank you for having pushed me further.